This is it. This is the final episode where we will go through last step to design unique selling point. Till this stage, we had two separate episodes where we discuss about step number one, which is mapping your client and mapping your services. Step number two, listing out the values. And now it's step number three. We will finally put everything together and design unique selling point. My name is Adam Skoneczny. I have been living in Asia for the past 8 years. As the CEO of EVIT Organization, I have spent last 6 years helping Asian tech companies expand into Western markets by building professional sales team and sales process. In this podcast, I am discussing everything related to sales in tech industry as well as collaboration with Western clients. So let's start today, last episode regarding USP. Before we start, I need to make sure that other episodes were clear for you and you did your homework. This is super important. To be honest with you, if you planning only jump into this episode and come out with unique selling point, I don't think this will work. Maybe this will work, but the unique selling point will not have so much power, it will not be so unique, if I can say like that, as it could be if you go through other two episodes. So if you haven't seen them, start first with the mapping the client, mapping your services, then move to the next episode where you are discovering the values, and then come to this episode. Today, what we will do, our work, it will be more focused on the client. Our work will be more focused on the client survey. And last thing, what we will do, we will ask few questions that will allow us to put everything together into unique selling point. So let's start it. So to proceed with this exercise, we will have to look into our pipeline and we will have to look into our clients. What kind of clients we are looking for? We are looking for the clients who are with us very long time, and there are what we call happy clients. We provide them services and they are satisfied and even more than satisfied with our services. Second, what we will look for is the client that left us, meaning the client who started the project, they work with us for some time and then they left. Usually we don't know what is the reason, because usually our sales representative or sales leaders, whoever in the company, they do not like to have this conversation with the client and ask them the question why they living, because usually it's a bit uncomfortable, if I can say like that. And the last group of the client is the client that they never engage with us. So client that they exit in the middle of the sales process. We were not able to close them. We need to find these three type of the clients, and I highly recommend list out three from each type. So three clients from your existing clients who are really satisfied with their service. List out the three clients who left you, and then list out the three clients who never signed up with you and with your service. And what will be the next step? Next step, we will go and ask them few questions. We will have to actually to do the survey with those clients. I know this could be uncomfortable for many people. I know this is something new. Could be something new for for many of the companies, but it's highly essential that you will do it because of the two reasons. First of all, obviously you need this for the unique selling point exercise and to come out with your unique selling point. But the second reason, which is also super important as the first reason, is this exercise will be entry for you for creating what I mean customer success manager channel or customer success manager position. So what I will do, I will actually in the next episode will start recording information about customer success manager and how we can leverage this position to grow your account. And one of the main responsibilities and one of the main activities of the customer success manager is conducting survey. So what I am highly encouraging you, it's actually to take this opportunity to start learning how to conduct the survey with the client, how is it feel, how to invite them to conversation, what message to send, so on and so forth. So then later on, when you will be implementing customer success manager in your company, it will be much easier for you. So let's move on. What we actually should discuss with our clients, what should we ask them? Let's start with the client who are the satisfied clients who are working with us very long. The reason is it actually will be easiest way for you to approach them and discuss with them. So it could be kind of warm up for you before you will talk with your lost clients or the client that never bought from you. So obviously you need to set up the meeting. I highly recommend that this is a direct meeting. It's not an email. It's not that you send them a survey, because during the survey there might be some question popping out in your head that are important. It would be nice to ask them during the conversation. So arrange the meeting with the client and ask them, why did they buy from you in the first place? This is the most important. Second, why they stay with you. Next, ask them what is different between you and other vendors that were before looking into. Ask them the question type, what you mostly appreciate about our service. Which part of our service you appreciate most, or product? Is there anything in our customer service that you really love? How about the additional values? Except our product, our customer service, do you see that we giving you some additional value that you really appreciate? And go and ask them everything in direction this positive question. And as I said to you, this conversation will be quite nice and positive, because you will be talking about the good things that happening in your business with your perfect client. Additionally, next step with your perfect client, what you can ask is what they hate about the service. But don't ask about your service, but generally ask about the industry, about the, I don't know, if you work in the IT outsourcing, if you work with manufacturing, if you work in OEM. Ask generally, what do they hate about this service, about this industry? What is the most frustrating for them? What is the most inconvenient for them? So also we have the group of those less happy question, if I can say like that, but they are really important, because when you creating your USP, you can turn those inconvenience into actually your unique selling point. So that's it. Can tell to you that those questions I just give you, there are most common question I give in to my client, but this is not everything what you can ask. You can ask plenty other questions, but the main thing is you understand process of thinking and the reason why we approach the client and what we are looking for to get from our perfect client. So the next step will be to approach the client that left us. And as probably you guessing, this conversation will be not so super nice. But to motivate you and give you more courage to approach that client, I will share with you one thing. I am guessing that 90% of your competition, they never ask the client that left about the reason why they leave. And if you have this information, this is the place where you can actually build a lot. So let's contact with our clients who left, ask them for favor, and ask them the question as follow. Why did they leave? That's obviously the question number one. Was there any problem with the service, with the product, with customer service, or maybe they didn't see any other values? Ask them, do they see any common issue among all service provider or product providers? What the other vendor have that you don't have or you couldn't provide? Ask the list of the question going this direction to figure out what they were missing actually in your service, what annoyed them. And then ask also group of the question about the new vendor if they have already. And what is the difference between that vendor and you? And again, be ready for hard conversation, but just remove your ego for a little while and just do it from the selfish point of view that you want to collect feedback for yourself and make your business better. And then the last conversation, which will be a little bit easier than the conversation with client who left us, it's a conversation with client who never approached to the final step and we couldn't close the deal. And here again, we will ask the question, probably as you can imagine, why you didn't sign up the deal with us? What we were missing? What is the difference between us and the vendor you signed up? What we could do the better? So on and so forth. I guess after the first two examples, you already know what kind of question we should ask and what direction we should go. So this is the main homework for you, and I know it is difficult. I know because I had a problem with doing that myself as well. But if you do it first time, you will see second time, third time, it's much easier. And start to doing this with your perfect client, with the satisfied client. So this gives you a little bit more courage and motivation. And there is one super important tip for you guys. When you're discussing with any client, when you do the survey with any client, even this is actually very important tip for you for your sales process. When you discuss with the client, you try and close the deal, something going wrong, and you ask the question to the client, the difficult question. If you do the survey, you ask the difficult question, why you didn't buy from us, for instance. The first reaction of the client, it will be something very to brush you off, meaning that they will just say something to not make any discomfort between you guys and to get them off the hook, meaning that just finish this conversation as soon as possible. So if you ask them the question, why you didn't buy from us, they will tell you that it was too expensive or the timeline wasn't good. And those will be the first common answers coming to their head. And again, they will just tell it to just or don't have a conversation about this anymore. But what you need to do, and it's super important, say something like this. Okay, got it, Mr. Client. So let's say that the price wouldn't be issue. What was the next most important thing that you saw as a disadvantage or obstacle for us to collaborate? And then in this minute, you will hear real feedback, real thing. You will see that the client sit down and wait. He will really think hard about the thing that is really the main issue. And this is the time when we need to listen very careful, take notes, and we will use this later. So we finally got it. We got the sixth survey at this moment, at least with the clients. We can see the clear picture from their side, what they like, what they don't like, why they didn't approach with us, what is the difference between us and other vendors. And those are the super important information. Adding this together with mapping the client with the three most important elements when the client buying, the three most important element that client considering when they buying, meaning low risk, low price, and the time. Plus, mapping this with the values of our product, of our service, values of our customer service, and values of our added services or value. Now we are able and ready to go and proceed with finding our USP. So let's get into our unique selling point. I have a for you PDF that will be added under this podcast, and you can download it and use this as your template to collect information regarding this exercise, and then to keep everything together regarding the other previous two exercises. So step number one, we need to identify customer frustration. What customer hate, what they find inconvenient, and what they dislike about everything what is already offered. And I do not mean your company, your service. I generally mean the industry. So think about put yourself in your client's shoes. Now you should have actually a lot of information and answer those three questions. Next, taking your values, taking your positioning and mapping, and understanding customer frustration. Position your product or your service to remove those key frustrations. This is really important step. This is super important step. Figure out your mapping. Figure out what your customers are sensitive to. Then look into the values. And as a step number 3, the most important, think how those information can remove the client frustration. Think how your positioning and how your values can remove the element that client hate in your industry. This is very important point. Spend some time here. Do it with your team. Ask other people in the company. Ask other departments. They will know and they will help you out. List out the reasons. And the reasons, what I mean here, list out the reason why the client buy from you, why they should buy from you, why they stop buying from you, and why they don't buy from you. When you know those information, when you see your values, then write down benefits that you can give to the client by looking at your values, by looking at the positioning on your client and their frustration. List out the benefits that you can give to the client, the benefits that they're already in your business, or you can create the benefits in your business. And those benefits, usually you will notice that you never talk about them. So again, unique selling point is something what is already existing in your business, but basically we mostly fail to notice this, or we are failing to send a message or communicate this to the client. So we need to get those information and list out in the form of the benefits. And the exercises we did already, they should make this step super easy for you. So then when you list out those benefits, you need to make sure they are listed in the form of benefits. What I mean here, you don't list the features, you list the benefits, okay? So what's that mean? Let's say that you have offices in Africa, and you have office in US, and you have an office in Europe. And this is something what is very unique about your business. But if you say to the client, "Hi client, I have an office in Africa, I have an office in Europe, I have an office in Vietnam, I have an office in US." The client do not see here the value. They do not perceive this as a benefit. So then when I would call this is the feature of your business. This is the feature of your company. This is the feature of your product. Then what you need to do, take this feature and turn it into the benefit. How you do it? Basically, ask yourself the question, what is in this for me from the perspective of the client? So if there are offices around the world, so what kind of value client getting because of that? And for instance, if you're providing IT outsourcing services, you can say to the client, Mr. Client, you are based in the Europe, and what we have as you know already, we have an office in the Europe, but additionally we have offices in the Vietnam and Africa. What we would like to do for you is actually assign European people to communicate with you, but then to optimize your cost, assign some developer from Vietnam and from the Africa, from Egypt, wherever, to reduce your price. So at the end of the day, you have a high communication quality as in the European country. You have a high product quality, but you have the price much cheaper because we can optimize it with our offshore resources. Does it make sense for you? And when you present the value, this way you present the key element of your business, you turn them into benefits. This is the unique selling point. This is something that client can feel alignment and can really perceive something. This is different between you and other, and this is something that the client will really benefit from this. That's how you create unique selling point. If we, let's say, move to selling the products, you're selling the some products to the client in the Europe, and the same, you have offices around the world. You can say to the client, Mr. Client, we have offices in the Asia, in Egypt, in US, in Europe. What's that mean for you? If you have any product issue, we guarantee that we will be in 48 hours at your location and fixing that issue. And at the end of the day, your waiting time, your guarantee service is much better, and this will allow you to run your business much more sustainable. There will be no more waiting time for fixing. There will be no more stopping of the production line. Our guarantee system and service is something that will fix those issues in the 48 hours. And again, you see here very simple feature of the business that they have offices, but the message you send it must be completely different. How many times I see on the website that we have an office here, 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 here. So what? What is in this for me from the perspective of the client? And answering this question, you will find your unique selling point. And then the last point, to verify that you have created unique selling point, please answer following question. After looking at your unique selling point, can you clearly say that this is something that less than 25% of competitors could say? So for instance, I guess that less than 25% competitor could say that they have offices in the Africa, in Vietnam, so on and so forth. This is quite unique point. Okay, so yeah. Second, does your unique selling point add a value to the client? Did you answer the question, what is in this for me? Very, very important. Additionally, ask yourself how exactly your unique selling point will benefit the client. Next, ask yourself, did you list out the feature or benefit? If you list out the feature, you need to turn them into the benefit. And those are the questions that they will confirm from you. Did you figure out some unique selling point? Or you figure out the list of the features or similar values like other businesses have. I really hope that after those exercises, this will be really unique selling point, not list of the features of your business. So guys, to summarize, 3 exercises, 3 episodes, and 1 unique selling point. Or maybe 2. Maybe your company is super unique, so then there could be some additional unique selling point. We do not have to be limited. But I hope at this stage you have already unique selling point. This is really important. This is really valuable. This is something what will make your business outstanding. Create the message behind your unique selling point. Figure out how to pass it to the client, how to send this message. When you have it, implement it everywhere. In your website, in your proposal, in your pitch deck, corporate presentation, in your lead magnets, everywhere, in the head of your salespeople. They need to be able to, if you wake them up in the middle of the night and ask, what is our unique selling point? They need to be able to say that. That's how it's important. So that would be it. I really hope now we have a unique selling point. You went with me through the long journey of 3 episodes, and I strongly believe this was very interesting and efficient, productive journey for all of you. From the next episode, we will start a new journey, which will be Customer Success Manager. And what it is, Customer Success Manager, it's one of the best existing channels, sales channels, to grow revenue of the business, to get more client, to sell more things to existing client, to get referrals and reference. So guys, follow up and let's catch up in the next episode. Good luck.